All right, we are live, TFN Sanity, on a Tuesday night with two-time world champion boxer Maureen Shea. But first, let me introduce Steven Rothman, founder of the Fighting News. You all know who he is, and you know me, Matt Benalil. I'm the loudmouth. But we have quite a show for you tonight because Maureen is one of our more interesting guests, most interesting.
I haven't been on in a while.
You haven't been on in a while, but you just fought 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks or
Okay.
three? Two, yeah.
Too.
And then you're fighting again this Friday. So, what's it like to be so active again?
It's funny because I said to my best friend, I said, "Who thought it was a good idea to fight back to back like this?" She goes, "Nobody. Nobody thought it was a good idea." I was like, "Oh, did I think it was a good idea?" She's like, "Well, clearly, it's great. I mean, it's different. I went after being out of the ring for a year. I went 8 rounds last week, but I mean, 2 weeks ago, it was a great show with Shern's Promotions, Chuck Sherns and everybody up there. I know Ken, I forgot his last name, is his partner in that. The Worcester crowd. It was a great show, beautiful ballpark. We fought at the Polar Park where the Woo Sox play, the minor league team for the Boston Red Sox. It was awesome to fight outside. I fought outside 2 times prior. One time it was 114 degrees in Reno, Nevada, outside of the El Dorado. It was record breaking heat, and I fought outside. It was miserable. I was in the locker. They used the parking garage as the locker rooms, and Danny Milano, my cut man, was soaking um, towels in ice water and just laying them on me because I was the co-feature, and it was so hot. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
that one.
crazy.
Then I won the WBC interim world title in Sinaloa, Los Mochis, and that was outside in a soccer stadium, and it was like 60 degrees, 58 degrees. It was cold. So I felt both. But Worcester was the weather was amazing. Um, it was a little odd because what happened was there was a lot of firsts. Um, hey, Mike, there he is.
Hey, what's up, Mo? How you doing?
Yeah, Mike's
Good,
always a
good.
little late.
Just talking about my experience the last fight at
Yeah.
the Polar Park in Worcester. But the interesting thing was when we got there on Wednesday, we flew out Wednesday, got there Wednesday late, early evening, and they told us when we landed that the fight got moved to Saturday because of weather. So they had already planned it. Like if weather was bad on Friday, they were going to move the fight to Saturday. So that happened last year. So last year the fight was Friday, they moved it to Saturday. However, they kept the weigh-ins on Thursday. But this time, because the WBC was involved, because Justin Castro, my teammate, was the main event, he fought for a silver WBC silver title. They made the weigh-ins the day before, so they moved the weigh-ins to Friday.
Okay.
So that was different. And then I posted about my dog, about Chorizo, and Matt, thank you for visiting him in the hospital. I had to bring him into the hospital Tuesday night before I left. So this fight was like there was a lot of like stresses and a lot of changes in movement, but I think because of my experience and my ability to adapt, I was able to manage everything. And obviously, I had great support. Matt helped me out a lot and visited Chorizo, my mom, my best friend Melissa. Everybody kind of kept me calm and focused. My sports psychologist, Tony Ricci, and Avi, my breath coach too, just helped me out a lot. So all in all, it was a good show. But now coming back, so basically what I did, I fought Saturday, I traveled on Sunday, I took off on Monday. Tuesday, I ran, I strength trained, just conditioning. Wednesday, I boxed. Thursday, I took off. Friday, I sparred 4 rounds with Evelyn Romo, who just made her pro debut. And then I took off, and then I ran on Saturday. And then, no, I'm sorry, I took off Saturday, I ran on Sunday. Monday, I boxed yesterday. I ran this morning. Tomorrow, I'll hit some mitts in the morning, and then and then we weigh in. I'll sweat out at night, but we're fighting at a 118 this fight. My last fight, I wanted to see how low I can come in comfortably. So the contracted weight for the last fight against Beta was 122, but I
Okay.
came in at 119 on purpose. I just wanted to because I think I'm a 118 pounder. I walked around this camp at 128.
Okay.
So, I was like between 126 and 128. And I'm like, I could do 118. But I said, there's an opportunity to kind of see where I'm at. And I did it now. Like I wasn't forcing, I didn't really cut weight. So it was just, I sweat out in the sauna for 20 minutes. That was it. With
What do
some
you weigh right now?
And then I woke up at 119, and I woke up at 1, and I had heavy when I weighed in. I wore my my workout shorts, my bicycle shorts with a sports bra that were kind of heavy. So I could have probably been a little bit lighter if I wore something lighter. So this fight, we're going to fight. The contracted weight for this fight is 118, because I told Luigi, I said, let's do 118. I can do 118. You know, it's just crazy. At 43 years old, I'm finally finding my natural weight class at 43. Like, it's supposed to be the opposite, right? You're supposed to not be able to lose weight when you get older.
Right.
But, you know, here I am. And, you know, but if you look at pictures when I was younger, I had like some baby fat still. You know what I mean? Like, I still had the round face, and I had more body fat, where now I'm just much leaner. So it's easier for me to maintain weight. And, I mean, I just ate this morning. I cut carbs today. Today and tomorrow I cut carbs. That's it. But I'm on 7 liters of water today with 1 tablespoon of salt. Tomorrow by 3 o'clock, I drink 4 liters of water, and I cut water. I sweat out.
You put the salt in the water, Maureen?
Yeah. So I have low blood pressure. When I moved out to Florida, I started getting really random dizzy spells, and I didn't know what it was. And then we figured out it was my blood pressure, because I got a blood pressure machine and I checked it out. My grandmother had low blood pressure. So that's what I found out. And then Element, when I was working for Phil, Element was working with Phil, and I really liked they gave us a lot of samples. I really liked their product. So I started to order it, and I've been using, but this is the thing. So, you know, when it comes to water loading, I hydrate daily. Like, I'm always drinking. The minimum amount I drink, and Matt could tell you this, is 3 liters. So every day I'm drinking between 3 liters and a gallon of water with 2 packets of Element every day. Because I'm outside a lot. It's hot here. I sweat. I still work out. You know, if I don't work out, maybe I'll do 1 liter. I mean, I'm sorry, one packet of Element. But it's important for me. So that's my normal routine. My best friend Melissa, she's my diet coach, so she does all my water loading, my weight cuts, and everything. So she's really gotten right now. This is our protocol. I start with 4 liters. I think it was but I was back to 4 liters on Monday when I got home. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think it was Saturday, I was at 5 liters with 2 salts. And then Sunday, 5 liters. I think Monday was 6 liters yesterday with 2 things of salt. Today's 7 liters with 1 tablespoon salt. No, half of a tablespoon of salt, which is half of an Element. And then tomorrow I do no salt, 4 liters by 3 o'clock, and then I sweat out at night. So, you know, what I do doesn't work for everybody. You know, you really got to find your body and what works for you. So, you know, I've also, the thing I started doing for this camp too, which was I started fasting on the weekends. And Matt knows this too. Like, I'll fast all day Saturday. I'll drink my coffee in the morning. If I might go for a run, I always ran fasted. So cardio I can do fasted. Lifting weights I can't do fasted. So I go and I run, and then I go to the beach and I just drink the water all day. And then at night at around 6 o'clock, I'll eat a meal. And then I'll do that Saturday and Sunday. So my body's kind of like primed for what I'm doing right now. I'm not like starving. I'm drinking a ton of water. I've been carbing. I've been eating super like clean and diligent with my carbs. So all whole foods. I don't do, the only processed foods I do is like, I'll do Kodiak pancakes, you know, maybe once or twice a week, just because it's
Those
to
are
me.
good.
Yeah, but I normally do ground beef, chicken, fish. We go for sushi. That's like a cheat meal for me. I'll go for sushi, or I'll get a hamburger with fries. That's what my cheat meals. I'm not really big on, you know, I found these wild potato chips, WILDE. They're like $7.99 a bag, but they're made out of chicken bone broth or chicken broth and egg whites. Very high in protein, and they're pretty good. So I'll snack on those sometimes. Protein bars, I go with nougat bars. I like those, or what's that Irwin guy? The other ones. I'm not big on protein bars. Protein shakes. I'll do grass-fed beef isolate. Matt's taking that too. Matt does a lot of what I do. I taught you a lot, Matt.
Yeah, well, Melissa, look, I lost 30 pounds when I was following Melissa's diet.
Yeah. Yeah. So she really works with your body. And Melissa's not a registered dietitian. She's not a nutritionist. She's a bikini. She did NPC bikini, but she just super geeks out on this stuff. And she's just really smart. and I trust her. And she understands, like, I've had eating disorders, so I've had really bad relationships with food. And so I know when I call her and I'm like, she trusts, like, I trust my body now when I need a break, like I need a cheat meal. She's like, go have a burger, go have this, you know?
Yeah, she's a genius.
Yeah, she's good. But I'm you know, stepping on the scale every day, it's getting like, I'm kind of tired of it. I just want to be able to just be normal, because who steps on the scale every day unless they're trying to make weight or trying to lose weight?
Well, you're the one that decided to go down a weight class, you know?
No, but I have to do it anyway when I fight. I have to get on the scale. Even if I'm fighting at 122, I have to get on the scale every day. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the beginning of camp. We start 4 weeks out. I start getting on the scale. And I mean, maybe not every day in the beginning, maybe like 3 times a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But then when we're like 2 weeks out, or like 2.5, we start stepping on the scale to make sure everything's working and we're good.
Is that the hardest part of preparing for a fight, do you think, Maureen?
I think for a lot of fighters it is. I think for myself it's not. It's never been a problem. You know, you got to understand, I fought at higher weight classes when I was coming up in boxing, because I had to like learn on the job. And so I did, and I also had an eating disorder. I was on medication. I was on antidepressants. I didn't know what my true weight was. I mean, I fought for my first world title at 130 pounds. And wow. I'm not a 130 pounder, but back then I was, you know, my body was different. I dropped her in the first round. She was 5'7", 5'8". I dropped her in the first round, and then I blew my eardrum in the 5th round, and I ended up losing the fight. But that the highest I ever fought. I wasn't. BoxRec's a little weird. They have me fighting at like 158. I've never fought at 158. I was going through the weight class, all my BoxRec lists. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, I never fought at 158. I fought, the most I weighed probably was like 138. And that was with clothes on, because I fought a girl that was 170 in Mexico. And I had stuff in my pockets, and, you know, that was like the
170? Come on.
Yeah, it's in BoxRec. Look for it. It's on BoxRec. And then BoxRec didn't, I know they're going through stuff with the WBC, doesn't recognize them. Now the WBA, they don't recognize it's drama. They didn't recognize my last fight. So people were writing like, oh, Maureen's been out of the ring for 2.5 years. I'm like, no, I haven't. I fought last August in Dominican Republic. Yeah. But they didn't count that record. So I'm 32-2 with 13 knockouts, not 31-2.
I know. And Avril and what's her name was on that card also.
Shamara.
Shamara Woods. Yeah.
Everybody did a title fight on that card. How do you not acknowledge a title fight? Like, I didn't fight it. I mean, the girl was grabbing me the whole time, but she fought other girls. She fought Tiara Brown, the girl that I fought. So it wasn't like, you know, she had a ton of fights. I think she had more fights than I had.
Yeah.
Tell us about this fight you got coming up this weekend.
Friday, I'm fighting at the Hard Rock. I'm excited about it. I don't know. My opponent's been moved. I don't know. BoxRec has one person. I don't know if that's who I'm fighting. I think they have another girl that I'm fighting. So we'll see. So I don't know. You know, it's kind of, I'm just kind of like focused on what I got to do. So I know that I'm going. I know the girl that I was. Both of them are shorter, because at 118 you're not going to find girls that are, well, unless you're fighting Gabriela Fandora. But you're not going to find girls at 118 that are like 5'7". You know, like the girl that I fought last Saturday was 5'7". So this girl, I think she's shorter. She might be 5 foot or 5'2". I'm 5'4". So you know, it's a different fight, but I'm very adaptable. Like, I faced so many different styles and so many different fighters. I faced girls that are 5'8". I faced girls that are 5 foot. So I'm pretty comfortable with adapting to it. My fighting style can do that. I'm a boxer puncher, so I can box or I can be in the pocket. I boxed Beta the last fight. I boxed her more on the inside with my head movement, and they kind of countered. But she was fighting me like using her range and staying away. You know, she's a good fighter. Like, I give her a lot of credit. She went 8 rounds with me. She wasn't easy to knock out, but she was pulling back. You know, I was trying to sit on the punches and I was trying to go for the knockout. I mean, I thought I had it at one point, but she was just very good at staying away. So I give her a lot of credit. You know, I think she's a triathlete. She's very much in shape. She definitely was in shape for that fight, because she took a lot and was able to maintain. I give her a lot of credit.
So let me ask you, Maureen.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm sure early on in your career, you were fighting frequently.
Yeah.
We know there's a lull in the action here and there. Now it's been a year since you had last fought before last week.
Yeah.
Now that you're fighting twice in a week and
Yeah.
you had to go those 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Is it taking a toll on you? Do you think you're going to be a little tired just going into it? Do you think you'll have all the energy in the world?
I mean, you guys know I have a lot of energy, but you know what? The key to that is recovery. So after the fight, I didn't party. I didn't drink. I ate some food. I had like 2 deep fried Oreos. Me and Smitty, my Derek's assistant coach that worked my corner. We got some, we got like, it was only the only thing that was open. So we got some like these calzones and 2 deep fried Oreos, and that was it. I got back on it the next day. That's why I took off on Monday. I slept all day. I did my cold plunge, my sauna, my recovery, my breath work. But I've been sleeping. I've literally been like just training, sleeping, eating, drinking water, like super not doing much. I went to a barbecue on Saturday at a friend's house, his beach house. I fell asleep. I went in the hot tub, and then I got out of the hot tub and I fell asleep for like 20 minutes. I'm just listening to my body. I realized this is a new thing for me, but my body's, people that are in tune with their bodies, it's really amazing. And anybody listening that understands that, like, you just listen to your body, it tells you what it needs. The problem is we don't listen to our bodies. We use this instead of feeling. So I'm like, I'm tired. Okay, I'm going to bed. If I didn't want to go somewhere, I didn't go. I had a friend that wanted to come up, and I was like, you know what? It's too late. I'm going to bed. After this, I'm in bed by 8:00. I was in bed last night at 7:30. I'm just sleeping. I got to stay up now because I got to drink all this freaking water, and hopefully I don't pee all night. But
yeah, that's going to disrupt your sleep. You're going to have to wake up and pee.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like a zombie. I'm up. It's like so automatic. I pee, I go back to bed. I just don't want the dog to wake up. But no, I honestly, I feel the recovery and the breath work, and I didn't get injured. Thank God in that fight there was no injuries. I had a little bit of a black eye. We clashed. I clashed heads with her on the inside, so I had no cuts, no abrasions, nothing like that. And my body felt really good. I also I got a massage last Friday. I went to my physical therapist, Dr. Marin, on Monday. I said, is there anything you see? She's like, what are you feeling? I said, shoulders a little tight. She did some dry needling. She worked on any other parts of my body she needed to. Rick, my masseuse. But this is the thing you got to understand, that I am so dialed in on my recovery. Like, it's almost like Tom Brady. Like, I don't have Tom Brady's money and all his things that he's able to access, but for what I have, I use it. I train at the Vaughn Sports Performance Center. They've got a cold plunge. They've got the sauna. They got the dry sauna. I go in there. I do the cold plunge for 4 minutes before I train. I go in the sauna for like 7 minutes to warm up. I train. I do the sauna for 30 minutes when I'm done. And that starts to, there's something about recovery that there's a podcast about it and how it helps. Jose Rojas, my strength coach, he's scientist. He's super dialed in on all that stuff. So I know what I got to do. And then I have Normatec boots. So when I feel like I need the boots, if my legs feel a little fatigued, I'll do some compression boots. But the cold plunge has been a big part of my recovery for a long time now. And then I do, my breath work is huge, meditation. And even when I flew out to the fights in Worcester, I wore compression leggings just to give my legs like some, so I wouldn't like feel like that inflammation in my legs.
Like on the plane? You wore them on the plane?
Yeah, I posted it. They were like thigh highs. And I don't care. I'm like, whatever. I put them on when I got to the gate, and I was like, I don't give a shit. This is my recovery. They're not getting punched in the face. I am. I don't care what people think. That's the thing. I'm going to do whatever I got to do that's best for me. And again, this doesn't work for everybody. But I think as an older athlete, I mean, Tom Brady's a perfect example. There's other athletes, female athletes too. I just think the longevity for a female athlete is more than a male athlete. It's proven. And I'm proving it in boxing. It's been proven in boxing by Alicia Ashley. And now I'm kind of piggybacking on what she's done. She was fighting until she was 48. I mean, I don't really know if I'm going to fight till 48, but at 43, I feel better. I'm faster. Like, I watched the fight. I was like, holy crap, I'm fast.
You didn't even know it.
Well, it's the fight's always different. You know what I mean? Because now you're like full throttle, but but this is the thing. my sparring partners, and I say this to any young boxers listening, male or female. You know, what I learned in boxing, and these are like little gems that I have, because I do have 26 years in this sport. What I found is like, so for example, I spar Christina Cruz. Christina's very fast, very fast. She's got a very fast jab. If I could time her jab and slip her jab and slip her jab and use my defense with her combinations and slip her punches, it makes me faster with my movement. If I can counter after the defense and hit her, it makes me faster with my reaction. So I practice that when I spar Christina. I take her strengths and I apply them to me so that I can be stronger in those areas, because maybe I'm not as fast as her, you know? And then I'm like, okay, how can I be faster? Counter, you know, slip counter, head movement and offense. So Evelyn, high volume. Evelyn throws a lot of punches. She's out hustled me with punches. And I'm like, you know what? I got to throw more punches, more volume. So I'm throwing more volume. You know, I use that. I spar her. Everybody I spar, I learn from. Just because they don't have as much experience as me doesn't mean anything. They all have something that they're better at than me, you know, whether it's because they're smaller or it's just a different style, you know? And if they're smart, they'll do the same with me.
Well, Christina's been around a long time.
Oh, yeah. But I've been sparring Christina for years. You know, Christina was always fast. You know, it's her body style. You know what I mean? So they always have some, like, but I have really good work. Like sparring Christina and sparring Evelyn, like they're excellent work for me, because they both have things that I have to, you know, I have to be better at, because they're fast. She's faster and Evelyn does the output. But I think now my output's high. So when I always go back to spar Evelyn, I know it's working on my output. When I go to spar Christina, I know it's working on my speed.
So it works out.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Listen, I started during a time, you know, when there weren't a lot of females to spar. I sparred a lot of guys. I've been in camps where I didn't have female sparring. You know, Gleason's I did. I sparred, you know, Ruth O'Sullivan. I sparred her. I sparred Alicia. I got to spar some females, you know, in Gleason's. Not a lot, but when Hector was kind of weird with that. There was more sparring for me, but he just didn't have me spar. He only had me spar certain females. But then when I went to California, when I was in Ventura, there was like two girls, three. One of them wasn't consistent, but Maggie and Carla were my two, Maggie Suarez and Carla Herrera. Carla was an amateur, and I swear when I sparred Carla, I actually just talked. She's married now with a baby. I just talked to her the other day. She was like my mirror. She moved just like me. And I was like, man, I'm like, I loved sparring her, because it was like she would hit me with things and remind me like, hey, you can do that too. Yeah. You know, she was a very, 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 I don't remember but she was an amateur, and she was a very, very good amateur. And then Maggie Suarez was smaller. She was fast, similar to Christina, fast and high volume like Evelyn. So Maggie was tall. I think she fought at 115 or 112, but she was tall for that weight. Or maybe she was 5'4". I think she was my height, but she was 112, 115. And we had a lot of great rounds. And then I had Heidi, who was like a white collar boxer. I think Heidi had some amateur fights, like maybe two, but she was tall, and Heidi was good work, because she was tall. I was able to kind of hit her because she could take it, you know? So, you know, I had good work out there. But then when I went to boxing lab, when I was training with Lomachenko's team, there were no females. I sparred all men, only guys.
Spar Lomachenko?
No. I sparred a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Mexicans that some knew how to work with women and some did not. I sparred this one young kid, Tyler. He's Filipino. Good. He was young. He's now doing really good with boxing. He's still an amateur. He was young. He was like 17 or 16 when we sparred, but he was tall and he had heavy hands. He's a good little fighter. So, you know, I got a lot of this, but you know, I started sparring like that, you know, when I was even younger, 17. I started at 17.
Speaking of Gleason's gym, they just changed the name of their street it's on to Gleason's. Yeah.
Gleason's Way.
Gleason's Way. That's pretty cool.
They've changed locations, I think, twice. I remember when the stairs used to be, the stairs used to be up, like where the snack bar is, the stairs were there, and then there was another place. I've been there twice. When they moved it, it was moved twice.
Yeah.
So I've been there for the two moves, not the third move. And then Mendez too. I don't even know if Mendez is open. I went to the Mendez. I remember the Mendez upstairs and then the Mendez downstairs in Manhattan. And then Church Street. I remember that one. And then Trinity in Manhattan. Church Street was like right there. You walked right in. I sparred there. Yeah, I sparred at a lot of gyms, and then Bronx Chester Boxing was like literally 2 miles from my house. I used to go train over there. Joey Rios, Angel, who does double A boxing. He does the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Angel owned that gym, and he trained Joey Rios, and I used to train over there sometimes. Yeah, and in John's gym, I trained at a lot of different Morris Park boxing. I think I was only in Morris Park like twice, and I think it shut down. But I trained at Yonkers at New York Boxing Gym in Yonkers on Nepperhan. That was the first. Omni was the first gym I trained at, but then I trained there, and I trained at Doug DeWitt. I trained with Doug DeWitt, former champion who went the distance with Tommy Hearns. I trained with him for a little under a year, but I only fought white collar fights with him. I had 3 white collar fights with him because he didn't think he needed to get an amateur license to take me to fight amateur. So
yeah. So I know from last times we've spoken that your goal is a 3rd time world champion.
at a 3rd weight class now. I didn't think about it, but I was like, oh, if it's 118, it's my 3rd weight class. You know,
that's the weight class you're looking to get another belt.
I mean, listen, I'll fight anybody, any champion at 122 or 118.
Right.
But it's like, where am I going to get the opportunity? You know what I mean? So I'm kind of just, you know, I was in line. I was ranked number 1 by the IBF at 122. I don't even know what I'm ranked now, but that kind of like, you know, I'm like, listen, like I said,
2 or 3.
Yeah, but I was number 1 at one point. I was number 2.
Right.
I was number 2, and that's when they asked me. I was going to fight Ellie Scottney for the interim because Shanika Johnson was out with the medical leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, and again, like it's the reason these girls get these titles. Like, why was Shanika Johnson fighting for a world title when she's coming off a loss and she fought another girl coming off a loss? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, but see, this is the thing. The boxing public doesn't pay too much attention to women's boxing, so they don't know. And I'm not trying. And then if I say something and it's like, oh, you're hating, I'm like, no, it's just not right. And it's not just right because it's happening to me. It's not happening to other women. I mean, look at now. Skye Nicholson's got this title. How come Tiara Brown's not getting the opportunity? Why is Skye Nicholson defending to other people?
Right.
You know? And then you got, you know, it just doesn't make sense. You know, there's other people that deserve that. I mean, I honestly, sometimes the rankings, I'm like, I get where it's at, but I mean, I don't even know if I'm in the rankings, but I should be up there. I should be, you know, ranked 1 or 2, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Do you have your belts close by, Maureen?
No, Derek took them, and I don't know where. He said he gave them to my brother because my brother was going to make me something. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I don't have anything boxing in my house. I have the new, what's that? The guy from the painting, you know, Matt, the painting I have above the stairs, Neiman something, the one from Rocky.
Leroy Neiman.
Yeah, Leroy Neiman painting
Yeah.
my stairs, and then I have like this graffiti 2 boxing gloves hanging by my couch. That's the only thing boxing that I have in my house. I don't have my belts. So
Yeah.
Derek was like, you need the belts in the house. And he was going to have my brother's a welder, make some cases and put them along the stairs.
Yeah.
But I don't know where
He
they are.
hasn't made him yet.
Cool. That'd be
I
cool.
don't know. I hope my brother, I don't even know where they are. My brother has them.
How old's your brother?
My brother is 53.
53.
My brother's got, I mean, it's just, listen, sometimes you guys take a little bit longer to get shit done. All right. It's a man thing.
No, bro, I didn't know you had a brother. I know you had a brother.
Yeah, my brother's 10 years older than me. He'll be at my fight. My brother came to New York to see me fight when I fought Calissa Salgado in New York. Yeah, he's 10 years older than me, but he moved out to Florida when I was 14. So I was almost like an only child. But we're very different. We're like we look alike, but you met my brother, right, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, I've met your brother.
Yeah, but we're polar opposites. My brother's super calm and laid back, and I'm like firecracker.
So
Yeah.
this past last weekend, I went to a fight. Matt and Mike were there as well. It was for BYB, Brawl in the Pines, and a guy that we've watched for quite some time, Yuli Diaz.
Oh, I love
yeah. And
Man,
you know,
he's just a salt of the earth person. He's so genuine and so authentic. I just so appreciate him.
yeah. And it was I was just glad that it was in Florida, you know, where he did this, especially, you know, for BYB. We were, you know, up close and personal. It was really good. But, you know, I'm like on the drive now for you for this, Maureen Shea, 3rd-time world champion.
Thank you.
And once that comes true, is that the end goal for you? Defend, and then what's your goal?
You know what my goal is right now is Friday night. That's my goal right now. And then I just sit back. That's it. I'm really taking it one fight at a time because I realize, whenever I think about the future, I set myself up for disappointment. And I said this to a friend of mine the other day. I was like, why I wake up every day asking myself, why am I still doing this? And Matt hears my bitching and moaning, I think I've gotten less and less of the bitching and moaning. I kind of laugh now when stuff happens. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Like, this is a joke. But you kind of have to take it like that. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself insane. I've been in this business long enough to see what goes on. And I'm just kind of like, if I enjoy doing it, like I get up in the morning, I'm like, are you looking forward to getting to the gym today? If the answer is yes, then I go. If the answer is no, then I don't go. Because I don't need to be in the gym every day. I'm in shape. I know enough. I'm not going to go in there and learn anything new right now. So it's like, and it's at this all the time. After this fight, I'll probably take a week off and then I'll decide, do I want to box? No, I'm going to start doing Pilates on Sundays with a retired boxer, Marianne Chabrika. She's 58 years old and she was like one of the OGs. She's been boxing since like the 2000s and she retired and she's got a Pilates studio in Hollywood. So we met up a couple weeks ago and I was like, I'm going to start doing Pilates with you on Sundays. She's going to help me out. And what great thing to work with a fellow female boxer, who understands the body and what my imbalances are. So, that's what I do. I love my life and I get to do what I want. And as long as I'm doing what I want and I'm enjoying it, I'm going to do it. And is the world title, these younger girls, I've achieved so much and I've accomplished so much, but does it mean that I should have to stop? And that doesn't mean that the opportunities, I don't earn them and I don't deserve them. But a lot of these girls are experiencing things for the first time. I had a girl, I hate mentioning names, but she was like offering me an opportunity to fight in the Garden. I was like, do you even know that I fought in the Garden 4 times? I fought on Miguel Cotto's undercard for a world title on Top Rank's card. I commentated for Top Rank before Christina Poncher did. I freaking fought in Holyfield's undercard when he fought Frezzo Kendo at the Alamo Dome. I fought as co-feature to Shane Mosley when I fought Mayorga the 2nd time at the Forum. But I feel like these younger generations don't do their research.
Yeah.
Like, what other opportunity are you going to give me that I haven't had already? Like, okay, fighting on DAZN? Yeah, because women weren't getting those opportunities back then because it wasn't around. But I did fight on TV. I fought on pay-per-view. Okay, I didn't fight on ESPN, but that was really all that was around. What else is there, HBO, women's boxing wasn't on HBO. They banned us from it. I didn't fight on Showtime,
But you're right, though. These the fans today, people paying attention to boxing, they don't know what happened 15, 20 years ago.
But neither do some of the fighters, though. Neither do some of the fighters because they're so hyper-focused on themselves that they don't know who came before them, some of them.
Right.
Unless you're in that place doing it, like, they don't get it.
We got a fight coming up, Canelo versus Berlanga. How do you think Berlanga got that fight?
Listen, I love Canelo. Like, I don't care what people say about him. People don't like him. People say whatever. He got the fight because Canelo gave it to him. That's the fight Canelo wants to do. Didn't he just say he wanted to rematch Bivol? I think it's got to make sense for Canelo at this point. I don't blame him. He's done enough. He should get paid what he wants to get paid. He's created himself a household name. He was, when he fought Floyd, like, he put himself out there. He really put himself out there with Floyd. I didn't think he was going to beat Floyd. He was way too young. But you know what? He did it and it helped him, and now look what he's doing. I give him a lot of credit. So I think he can handpick who he wants to fight, and he should. Look at what he did with Triple G too, though. Those were great fights too. He's paved his way. And I've been a fan of him since he fought Miguel Cotto's brother when the first time he fought in the US on the Mayweather Mosley undercard. I was like, I like this kid. And Lou DiBella, I tweeted at Lou DiBella, I was like, oh, you only like him because he's a redheaded Mexican. I'm like, okay. Okay, maybe that's why, but it's also because I like his style. And, I just like the way he fights and I like the way he carries himself. I know his coach, Eddie Reynoso, I do enjoy watching him. And I'm proud as a Mexican to see what he's done and how he's done it. You know, people saying he's cheating, he's this, he's that. All right, whatever. Who hasn't cheated in boxing, really? And you know what? They forget about it. How many days later? Not saying that it's right, but it's like if we're gonna like, you know, crucify him for that, it's not right. But you know, you can't just completely, you know, wipe out everything else he's done. So now, yeah, he's fighting Berlanga, and you know, I love Canelo. It's you heard what people said, like English speaking Canelo's funny, but he's having a time with everything because I feel the same way. If I was going on a press tour and I was fighting these girls, if they started talking crap, I'm not going to talk shit. I don't have to. I'm already established. I think it's funny. What can you say to me? I'm not going to bark back at you because there's nothing you can say to insult me. I've done a lot. I'm mature, and I've heard it all. And I think Canelo's the same. That's why it's. I mean, he's gonna destroy Berlanga. I don't think Berlanga's that good either.
I agree with that.
It's funny, you mentioned Mayweather. Sidestep for a second, Steve. This isn't breaking news. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure people have heard this before. That they're talking about an exhibition match with Mayweather and Chavez Sr. Talking about the real Julio Cesar Chavez.
That's
Who's
crazy.
But he's what? I mean, I'm not looking. But what is he, like in his mid-50s by now? He retired young.
I mean, if Tyson's coming back and getting paid to do it,
you know, just be interesting to see something like that.
These are the fans. These are the. I mean, look at why is Floyd Mayweather fighting? You know why Floyd Mayweather is fighting Gotti in Mexico, so the Mexicans can see Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah. Like what happened the last fight? Didn't there was like an outbreak?
And it's there. Yeah,
there was a brawl in this stadium.
And
again, there's more casual fans now because of the Jake Pauls and the Logan Pauls. You know, there's more casual fans now. They don't know nothing. They just believe all the hype, and it's like, I mean, it's hard for us real hardcore boxing fans where we're like,
right. No, you're right.
I'm not watching the Tyson fight. I think that's a disgrace that this guy Tyson's got going in like what are you doing? You fight listen, God bless Jake Paul. But you're fighting MMA fighters, like, you know, he's building his career, he's building his resume. Good for him. And he's making a ton of money, and he's got the fans, and he's doing it a certain way. And I'm like, I'm not hating on him. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's fighting smaller MMA fighters or old boxers.
He doesn't have fans. That whole stadium.
Yeah.
I was at his fight in Tampa. The whole stadium was booing him. The whole stadium.
But people said he's got the Mayweather effect. People are going to go to see him lose.
We're waiting for the moment where he becomes a fighter because, you know, up to this point, he's still just been an entertainer. You know,
and he also, but you know what? He's learning. I give him a lot of credit. He works hard. I've seen him work, and I've seen his work ethic, and I've seen him sparring when he sparred Jake. I went down there twice, and I said to Jake, I said, you do basic really, really well. Jab, 1-2, stepped away, kept his distance. Yeah. You know, stayed safe. But who are you fighting against? You're fighting against a small guy that just rushes in. All you got to do is stick out your hand. He's gonna run into you.
Yeah.
We have another.
He had trouble making weight, though. He had trouble making weight for that fight.
Jake did? Who? Jake Paul?
Yeah, for the fight against Mike Perry.
We have another guest, Mike.
Oh yeah.
The Lion Schwartzberg is here.
Ryan!
Hey.
Yo, what's up? Am I in here?
You
Yo,
told
we got the champ, Maureen Shea, too. What's up, Maureen?
I didn't know you were fighting Saturday, man. Good luck.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I'll just follow right behind you and get my victory now, you know?
I said you stay active. I'm following behind you.
Oh, yeah. No one fights as much as me, man. I got to catch up, you know? I got to catch up.
I love it. Man, it's awesome.
What's up, family? What's up?
What's going on?
What's going on? Thank you for having me. Steve, man, you already know, man, repping the shirts everywhere we go, man. We got a lot of love from the shirts. So shout out to Steve, the Fighting News, for making the gear again. God bless, man. We're going to represent.
Yeah. Are you going to make it out to Maureen's fight? I know it's the night before your fight.
No, he's going to fight. He's got to wait. He's got to rest.
Wow, holy crap.
But it's right in his backyard.
Did you just fight?
I did. I fought I fought 2 weeks ago, but now I'm fighting again. I told you I'm trying to catch up to you.
Yo, you see what I'm saying? We literally are doing the same thing this month. That's like unheard of for two pros that be on at the same time that did 2 fights in a month.
To back.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll be
Minus-
always tuning in, but that you could count 2 victories that same weekend. Let's
That's
go.
right. That's
Let's
right.
go.
Nice.
So Ryan, just tell us about the event that you're doing on Saturday.
So this one is at the Ballroom Palace in West Miami. So that's where it's going to be. The show's starting at 7:30, and I'm taking on a debut guy, and for me, think a debut guy taking on a guy like me with 20 something fights, I'm there. I'm gonna be eating that night. So this one's for me. I'm gonna showcase my abilities. This show, and this is what this one's about. I show these guys that I could be an A side guy and I could do it too. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Sure.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's so true. I mean, man, I've seen Ryan in the gyms, and even when you spar, you give these guys you give them the business. You're like
And, and that's the same thing. Thank you so much. I know you're always there when I get to spar, which is a blessing because you help out, tremendously. But that's the thing about me and my fights. I'm always going to their house. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fight the undefeated guy who's 9-0. I'm going to fight this kid in Virginia who's 7-0. You know what I mean? And I'm the opponent. And even when I beat these guys by decision, which in my last 10, 12 fights, it's either been I beat you or we go decision and I get robbed, or it's a close fight. But if we go the decision and I don't knock you out, it's hard to get a win against the 8-0, the 9-0 guy, in their hometown.
Let me ask
So, this time, so this time we're in my hometown and I'm the guy. So unless you knock me off, I'm getting that dub. But I fully plan on getting a solidified win and get a knockout this time. I'm due for a victory, but not just a victory, a finish.
Let me ask you a question, Ryan. Some boxing, enthusiasts and fans would call you a gatekeeper. How do you feel
I like
about
that name.
How do you feel about that? Like, you guys know, like Matt, Steve and Mike, I would call him like almost a gatekeeper, like, because he's a tough guy and people know that he's gotten robbed. He goes the distance. He's in it. He's a gritty fighter. Whether they call it a journeyman, I prefer gatekeeper because I think that's where they put their fighters in there to get tested, against somebody like
just gritty. Like thank you so much for that, because that's awesome to hear from a champ, but that's what I was telling this young guy when I was fighting this last weekend when I got the short notice call on Misfits. This young kid in Jahan Ingram, he's a young stud coming up. He's knocking out all these people, but I'm telling him, like, I'm not, I'm not the same as the first 4 people that you fought. This is going to be your first real test, and this is going to be your first real war. This isn't a first round knockout experience for you. I'm gonna be swinging back, and you can't just walk up to a guy like me and just feel yourself on me. I'm gonna make you feel extremely uncomfortable. And I got another tactic that a lot of fighters don't have. I could just swarm you with pure power and just walk forward at any time and grapple you up against the rope. So I never just sit there and just take punishment ever. Like, I always have the factor where I could just roam and just close the distance extremely fast. And that's a very safe tactic for me if I ever needed to. But the way that I am, the way that I fight, these guys cannot feel confident against me, just how twitchy I am and what I'm capable of. So being a gatekeeper is something that's pretty much true in this game, because eventually they have to get a tough test. So they're gonna sell it to this kid like, hey, listen, he's a former MMA guy. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be wild. He's pretty tough, but you should edge him. That's how they sell it to their fighter who's 7-0, who's coming off a bunch of easy knockouts or so. But then I take them the distance, and they get to really learn a lot about themselves, and that in my opinion will solidify them as a pro now that I'm this type of fighter.
Yeah. Have you ever taken someone's oath?
Oh, absolutely. Many times. So I even have 3 draws on my record. So I have 4 professional wins and I have 3 draws and I have many robberies. So that is seven times my hand was raised against undefeated fighters. And those 3 draws were real wins, but of course they just gave me a draw because it was a clear win, but they're going to
Yeah.
give us both a win basically. So
Yeah.
that's happened. And but yes, I've taken multiple people's undefeated records. My first win, as I was 0-1-1, so my career started with a loss. My second fight was a draw, which I went up to South Carolina and I beat this guy. I wasn't supposed to, but they gave me a draw. And then my third fight, we went up to Philly and I fought a kid, Ryan Umberger, who was 4-0, and I knocked him out in the second round.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was my first win as a pro against a 4-0 cat, and of course, I'm the opponent going into their house. So, basically they paid me to beat that kid's ass, beat their ass. So,
Yeah.
but that must suck. You're the A side, you pay for the experience, you think you're gonna get a win, and this guy comes in way gamer than you thought. And that's the type of fighter I am. I don't think it's any secret now. That's the type of fighter I am, but that's how that's how I started.
Yeah. So you're fighting with M&R Promotions. Have you fought with them before?
I did one time. I snuck onto a card and I took one of their boys. The last time I fought with them, this kid came from Texas, and it was a card here in Miami at the Mekasuki Casino.
Yeah.
Couple fights back, and I fought with them once. It was a great experience, but of course, I got robbed. I took this kid the decision. I puffed his whole eye up, and but he was 7-0, and a lot of people tell me I won, but hey, it was just one of those fights, and where everybody won again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What about Pro Box? Do you have anything with them coming up again? Or?
Yeah, well, I finally I fought with them, I believe 4 times. I got a draw, and then a win. I got 2 draws with them and a win, and then my last fight, I got a decision loss against this kid from Ireland who was super A side. He had a big following from Ireland. He had like 16 national titles. It was a good fight, man. All 6 rounds. We
Yeah.
ran out of time. I bloodied him up though. You didn't see blood come out of me.
Who was it? What was
You know
his
what I
name?
mean?
What was the Irish kid's name?
Kid's name was Brandon McLean. And
Okay.
yeah, he's I think he's now 2-0. He's starting his record, but he has a very extensive amateur career, so very good opponent, young tough kid, man. He took some bombs, but the fact that he took me to the end, he got his decision win, just how it
Yeah.
goes sometimes. I
Speaking
couldn't knock him out, he hung in there.
Speaking of pro box, Ryan, we have a heavyweight that we've seen before. Ivan Ditchko is fighting pro box tomorrow night.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah, man, they fight. They have shows every week. It's like every Wednesday and
yeah,
every other Wednesday, man. It's like
they're
a
very
lot
active.
of action. I can always.
They put their
They're
guys,
always calling me for a short notice fight.
Yeah.
they put their guys in pretty tough too, though. They're not like they try
Yeah.
to put on those real banger fights.
Totally agree. They do have some guys there and they give them 11-0 versus 10-0. It's a lot of good matchups where two good sides match up. I can respect that for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I love about you, Ryan, though, is you always have such a great attitude. You're always smiling. You love the Lord. You're always so like you just ooze this like I love being around you. Like when you're in the gym, I can feel the energy, and I love it because I like to ooze that too. So it's just
Of
so
course,
cool to have
man.
you
It's always lit when you or I are around. That's our job. We're the lights of the world. God put a renewed spirit in me and turned me into the lion over these past couple years. I've had no girlfriend. It's just been straight, just focusing on just God and my life as fighting in this life. A lot of people say this is the real fight out here in life. And one of the fruits of being well now and strong is that I get to go in the ring and inspire many. And it's just a pure blessing for me. I just feel totally grateful all the time that people are watching what I'm doing, and to be able to, bring a sense of camaraderie and teammateship. And I just love empowering people in that way.
And it's the respect. Like anytime you come in, like everybody respects you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know our
Yeah,
my
totally.
team respects you. I respect you. It's just, and it's because of how you carry yourself and that message that you present. And it's awesome to be around people like you. Like boxing needs more of that. So it's always
Thank
great
you
to
so
see
much,
you.
champ.
I wish you nothing but the best Saturday night. I really, really do.
Absolutely. Likewise, I'll be watching.
Thank
I'll
you. I
definitely be
appreciate
watching, of course. And I'll definitely be seeing you in person, Steve, very
it.
soon, man. I gotta get the walkout robe, we're gonna do this thing right, man, and we're gonna get a nice victory. It's a team victory. Everybody here. That's
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 Team
right.
Lion in my book.
I love it.
Let's go. Your walkout. It'll be done tomorrow. It's on schedule.
Amazing. You always do
Schedule. You
amazing for
can't
me,
beat that.
man.
Yes, it's on schedule. And it looks good. You got a nice bunch of nice sponsors. You want to give a shout out to those guys? Go right at it.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. I just locked my last sponsor in today, which is Pronto's Pizza. He's a guy, that owns a pizza shop right next to my house for 3 years. I've been eating pizza there for 3 years, and he always told me, man, yeah, I would definitely support you in your fight. You know what I'm saying? I finally just decided, you know what, for this one, usually when I'm the opponent, I'm going there like, I'm getting a purse, and things are a little different. But for this one, I needed to obtain all the support I could get. So I reached out. I got my guy Pronto's Pizza here. I got my boy up in Virginia. He has a farm. It's Quiet Pine Farm. It's just an amazing, beautiful place. It's like Wonderland over there. Animals everywhere, and wild deer, and it's just a beautiful place to live. And my boy from Virginia, Billy Scott, and his family supporting us. And I also have another one. Speaking of the Lord, my boy, You saw the dove that I sent you.
Yeah.
That's representing, the spirit of Jesus. That's what that dove represents. And like the champ was talking about, that energy that we try and bring in the ring. That's who I learned it from. And that's what that dove represents. So he went ahead and sponsored, and my buddy has a shop that he just opened up. It's like an organic kava shop. It's like right up the street from me. He's been one of my best friends for a while, and he just opened a kava shop, and he supported, and then it's been just donations from just Team Lion, so everybody's with me. We're all going to win together. So I appreciate you giving me that opportunity to shout them out, because they're family, and all the people that work with me, level up. I'm going to have my two corners there, Ken and Coach Blue. They've been giving me great work. I haven't spent so much time at DS Boxing. I haven't got to see you guys in a while over there at DS, but I feel like I'm there. How active I get, how I interact with you guys online, and how I watch your guys
Oh,
training, So
yeah.
Shout out
that's
to
it, man.
Santos Boxing.
Yeah, man, DS Boxing. That's another huge shout out, because that's family over there. The Coach Derek Santos, and just all my boys over there that give me just nothing but pure love when I'm over there. Of course, the champ right here, Miss Maureen, is there, and nothing but good vibes over there. I can't say enough about the people that walk in there. You got to be a certain type of person to be in there. I mean, at any given time, it'll be Thiago Alves or Vitor Belfort just hitting the bag in there, and it's just nothing but pure excellence and championship level stuff in that gym, So if I can be around them at all, it's just a perfect blessing, So that's what I try and do, man.
You're
And
always
you get Chris Algieri in there too, who
Chris Algieri, how could I forget? You see so many greats, Yeah, absolutely, man. Chris Algieri, man. Some of the coolest moments in my career is like having Chris in the gym while I'm there sparring, and him actually being able to give me training in any way. And then he's over there commentating my fight over there
right.
at Pro Box.
That's awesome.
It was
Yeah,
cool.
so he
Cool as
knows
can
you,
be,
yeah.
man. So sure, he got to see like an inside of the training, and yeah, we know each other on a personal level, and I respect the hell out of that guy, man. He's a warrior and an inspiration, and one of my people who I look at when I'm trying to learn how to be in this game.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
definitely, man. Well, it was good hearing from you, and good luck on Saturday.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for the time to just have me on. Pure blessing, man. God bless every single person. I'm definitely going to represent and get this victory. And don't count on it going to decision this time.
Let's go, Ryan.
No, we're looking for a knockout from Ryan the Lion Saturday. Let's go.
Yep.
That's
Check
it.
out Ryan, M&R Boxing Saturday night. Check him out.
Saturday night, baby. I'll see y'all there. God
Let's go,
bless,
Jim.
fam.
God bless.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Best of
Later,
luck.
champ.
Bye.
Night.
So,
All right.
back to Maureen. So you're fighting Friday. He's fighting Saturday. We got a lot of fights here in South Florida. Very exciting.
And you got Elia Carranza is fighting Saturday as well. Ellie is on her quest, trying to get a world title. I know she's got I think she's got a regional title, and she's trying to get out there. And I've trained around Elia before. I've sparred Elia. So, so I'm excited for her staying active too. It's good to see her having activity. It's good when these fighters are young. It's important for her to stay active. She's kind of like, learning on the job too, and just kind of getting better every fight. So it's good to see her, climbing up that ladder too, to her goals.
So is Elia fighting on that same card?
Yeah.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't driving my kids to school this weekend. I'd have a fight Friday and a fight Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should go to M&R, Mike.
Yeah, we should think about that. I didn't know it was coming up on Saturday, so
Yeah.
we can do that too.
Yeah, they're good people at M&R Boxing.
Yeah.
So
your card though, your card is pretty stacked. I understand there's quite a bit of fights on yours, right?
I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know. I know all I hear is that they're having like these these young twins that are fighting for world titles in their first fights. I was like, I didn't know what that was about. I don't know. I guess I'll find out on Thursday. I know I sold a ton of tickets. I got to find out where I'm at on the card. Shout out to Chris Lawrence and the Heavyweight Factory for the opportunity, and it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I know that the main fight is supposed to be he's a Cuban sensation, right? This is like a national champion that's fighting. I think he's only 4-0 now, but he's fighting for I think a WBA belt, right?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't even.
Okay. I mean, we all don't seem to know, but that's all right. That's all right.
We'll find out. We'll find out on Thursday after the weigh-ins.
yeah, there was a Cuban fighter who's fighting for a regional WBA title.
Yeah, right. Very decorated amateur career. Like
There's those twins. What about those twins?
Right away.
They're promoting those twins pretty heavy.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they are. You know why? Because they're really not promoting that well.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of posters.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know. I'm gonna have like half that arena fill. I know that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. How many tickets did you sell?
I think like 7,000 worth.
$7,000 worth of tickets.
Maybe 8. Yeah, and a table. So that's 55. Yeah, a lot. A table and about
Yeah, what, like
maybe 10,000
of that?
Maybe more than 10. Huh?
Do you get a percentage of that?
Yeah, I think so. I let my manager handle that. He does all that. I just tell people about the fight, and they're all just like, okay. And then I just, I'm an organizer because of my executive assistant, abilities. I sold the tickets. That's why I laugh at these young fighters. Like, oh, I gotta sell tickets. I was like, bro, it's so easy. I just literally told everybody, and then everybody just hit me up and sent me money. And I have a list. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, but you have a fan base. Not everyone has a fan base.
I got a list. See my list?
Yeah.
There's my list. Everybody that's got a check next to their name paid.
Yeah. Look, my son's going, one of his friends, my sister's going. My dad would go, but he can't walk around the Hard Rock,
Yeah. No, Anthony, my 92-year-old friend, wanted to go, but I said no, it's too late. His son is going, so yeah, I got a good group going. But I got to say goodnight to you guys because it's going to be past my bedtime soon.
All right, let's go.
The dogs are already
Friday night, Maureen Shea on her road to victory.
Yeah, and we're gonna get some footage, and we're gonna put it out there, and we're gonna show the world that you're just as fast, just as strong, and more talented than most of the pros. Easily the top 5, and better than most of the champions in 118, 122.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really
It's true.
Top two.
appreciate
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be out there for the weigh-ins, Maureen. So hopefully I'll see
Okay,
you.
cool. All right, cool. I'll see you then. All right. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
Maureen, I wish you luck.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
Thank you so much. Have a good
All
night.
right.
All right.
Good night. Go to
Good
sleep. Get your
See you
rest.
Bye.
Yeah, so Ivan Ditchko fighting tomorrow.
See that promo,
Yeah.
Steve. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it. They're doing it somewhere where it's somewhere out like in Plant City, isn't it? Plant City?
Yeah, their stadium in Plant City.
I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, I saw that. There's somebody else that we know that's on that card too. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I remember seeing it and saying, "Oh, he's also fighting."
No, there was a big who was it? There was a big fight on that card. Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but there's a
Right, I have to look.
it was either a
We're slacking
former
this
world
week.
champion or someone who fought for a world championship.
Yeah, we're slacking a little bit. We're
Yeah,
we're
there's a lot of fights in Florida this week. This is
Yeah, how many names can I keep track of, you know?
Yeah.
this
not
is a
easy.
big week for Florida. Pro Box Wednesday, Maureen Heavyweight Factory Friday, and M&R Boxing on Saturday. So, it's going to be a great week of boxing. Like I said, I have to drive my kids up to college, so I'm not going to be here. But I'm sending my 2 best guys, Mike and Matt, on Friday night to the Heavyweight Factory. So
He's sending us there, Matt.
yeah,
His 2 best guys.
I'm expecting the limo.
Steve is sending his 2 best guys.
that's right. The 2
Okay,
best.
we're your only guys, Steve.
Well, since we finally figured out how the heck we're supposed to see the fight, and we got our creds, I actually have a pair of tickets I'm going to be selling. So if anybody's if you know of anyone, I'll have a pair of tickets for sale.
You'll have a pair of tickets for Maureen's fight.
Yeah.
All right, so tomorrow on Pro Box, Jared Hurd versus Jason Rosario.
Oh, that's who it is. There you go. See, I knew there was something going on there, man.
Yeah.
So a couple of good fighters. Did they not fight each other already once before? Did that not happen? Maybe they were just on the same card, one fight after the other.
I don't think
remember
so.
there was a very stacked card. Who did Rosario beat for the belt? It was when he took that belt that time. Do you remember?
Wasn't it Plania or
I think it was the guy who used to train down at Warriors, and right now I'm not thinking who it is. Oh God, I don't remember now. So maybe they didn't fight each other, these guys, but I think they were on that same card then. The fight. I know I'm thinking of a fight card where these guys were all showing up.
it might have been.
The guy Rosario beat is the guy who beat Charlo.
Oh, Julian Williams.
There it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So I think on that fight card, I think Jared Hurd also fought. It was a very stacked card. And there were like upsets, and like Jared Hurd lost.
Yeah, I don't remember. That was a while. That was
This is 2-3 years ago, something like that.
It was a while ago. Was it 2019 or 20 around there?
Long ago? Oh my God, I don't think it was that long ago. Who knows?
Well, it was before he lost to Erickson Lubin. It was before that fight.
Yeah, I guess it was.
So
anyway,
anyway,
so good.
Yeah, Pro Box is putting out good stuff. They just had Angelo Leo that knockout of the year.
Yeah, that was great.
He came up in Pro Box, and they had Corey Marksman. Fought in front of a big crowd. He was on the undercard of Jake Paul and Mike Perry. So they're doing some good stuff for fighters.
Yeah, they're putting it together. That's what needs to happen. But how about going back to what I was saying before? What do you think about this this Mayweather Julio Cesar Chavez fight? I don't know if that's really going to come together, but that's the rumor. That's what's going on right
Just
now.
saw a Chavez fight.
What?
I just saw a Chavez fight.
Yeah, his son. You're talking about? Right?
Yeah, junior, and his junior's like 40 something.
No, he's not that old.
That old. No,
he's
he's
not
not.
that old. But
I know senior. I mean, he went pro at 15. You know,
How old senior? How old senior?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. He went pro at like 15. He had like 107 fights, but I think even when he fought De La Hoya, you know, way late in his career, he was only like 35 years old. But he just looked like he was, you know, he had been fighting forever. So he can't be more than like I would say mid 50s. I would think he's mid 50s, late 50s right now.
I think he's older than that. He's got to be 60 years old, Mike. I mean, you're talking about he had a career in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, but again, he started at 15. Was fighting in the 80s?
No, he's had, how many fights has he had, though?
I'm just saying, if he started fighting in the 80s and it was 40 years ago and he started at 15.
So junior's 38.
Okay.
Okay.
Senior's 55. I'm guessing 55.
I'm guessing 60. He's got to be 60.
Somewhere in that number. Somewhere in those numbers right there, Matt, for sure.
And he's had he had a drinking drug problem for a while, you know, so that adds some years to you too, you know.
He was born in 1962.
So there you go. He's over 60.
Oh, 62. Okay.
62.
All right. 62.
Okay. So I thought his son was old when he was fighting, when I just saw him.
Yeah. Well, he took years off. I mean, he was out of boxing years and years.
Yeah. But yeah. That's a wrap. Tune in. Anyone want 2 tickets? Probably Matt. He's gonna probably give them to Matt for free since Matt's taking the whole family.
You should have given them to me for free. I gotta Zelle Maureen now money for the tickets.
But yeah,
We should have done a giveaway.
We're gonna have her on the show after her victory. We're gonna have Ryan on the show after his victory, and we're gonna have some more fighters. I got some more people that want to come on the show. So we're probably gonna make this, since Matt's got his regulated schedule now. We're probably gonna do this like on Tuesdays. We're just gonna book the guests for Tuesdays. I think it's a good day for everyone.
I'll get back to you on that.
What do you think, Mike?
I have something that's happening with my kid, and I can't remember if they're Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but they're going to be almost.
Well, who wants to come on the show?
I have a list.
Who's on the list?
I have this this motivational speaker. He wants to come on. I have a nutritionist that wants to come on, and I have something. This gentleman that is a life coach, sort of like the motivational speaker, but a life coach for fighters. So he wants to come on. So
wait, back up a minute. Does that life coach?
There's no names.
Does he work with any fighters, or she?
They all sent me over contracts, so this is all like legitimate stuff. So I signed.
So they're going to pay us. I
signed an NDA. No, we have to pay them. But well, it's a wrap. Tuesday, Mike, I'll talk to you later about the Tuesday or Wednesday.
We don't pay people.
But don't think about, before you say that, but I'm thinking about, I had this image. Do you remember when Chris Farley did the character Matt Foley, the motivational speaker?
Yeah.
Back in the day, right? He lives in the van down by the river. That's what I'm thinking. That's what we're probably going to see, right? That's our motivational speaker coming on. Just like that.
Okay. And shout out, vote for Phil DeRue, friend of the family. He's going to be our trainer of the year. He got nominated. So go vote for him.
Yeah, definitely. Vote for Phil.
Go for Phil. Phil. And that's it. Mike, any last words?
I don't know, man. A lot of boxing going on, like we were just talking about, right? So Hard Rock Friday night, definitely be there for that one. It should be a pretty stacked card, although we don't know who the hell's fighting. But we know that Maureen's on that card, and that's the important thing.
Go Mo.
Saturday, obviously, we just found out about that one, guys. Check that one out too, out in West Miami.
Ryan, the Lion.
Yes,
Schwartzberg.
West Miami.
Yes. Matt, last words?
Everyone have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
It's a good one.
Deuces.
All right, guys. Have a good night.